I hope these reports are inaccurate, that Jackie Robinson's profile has been removed from DOD websites. Please tell me that this is not true.
Sadly, it is, Joe. A page dedicated to Hall of Famer Jackie Robinson's military history has been removed from the Department of Defense's website. A previously existing article about Robinson's time in the Army during World War II now shows one of those page not found errors, and the new webpage URL includes DEI before the story's headline, indicating it might have been taken down as part of the Trump administration's efforts to eliminate federal DEI programs. And Congressman, this is not the only one. We've been talking in recent days how the page dedicated to the Enola Gay, the flight that dropped the atomic bomb in Japan, was taken down, likely because the word gay appeared in it. Other American heroes, Medgar Evers, page dedicated to him, civil rights hero, taken down. Jackie Robinson is the epitome of American hero and a veteran, and yet erased from the Department of Defense's website.
Yeah, that's right. And the code talkers, too. Let's not forget about the Navajo code talkers who literally helped us win World War II by communicating and keeping our secrets in a way that the Japanese could not break our codes. Some incredible stories of heroism trying to be wiped away, because that's what this administration does. That's what Donald Trump does. If it doesn't fit his narrative, if it doesn't give him credit for it, then it doesn't matter, and it should be wiped from history, right? So part of our challenge here is not allowing that to happen, to keep history alive, to continue to tell the truth over and over and over again and call it out just like we're doing right now.
Shame on you! We need veterans from California all the way to New York to stand against what we are witnessing right now. Your voice is so powerful. We know that as veterans, they are not giving us any of the help that we need while they send our tax dollars to other countries who are committing genocide. Right now is the time to use your powerful voices as veterans to say enough is enough. We need to save our country.
Just in case the MAGA feel like they want to keep saying that the veterans and the military affiliates are not going to have any issues with the new presidency. Here we go, MAGA. I'm a veteran. I'm in school. Department says, attention all military affiliate students. The Department of Veterans Affairs have notified us of potential delays in housing stipend payments. We want to ensure you are aware that upcoming stipend payments from the VA may be delayed due to VA staffing challenges, lack of authorization for overtime, and an increase in school certifications and amendments at the start of the spring term. If you would like to confirm the date and amount of your next payment, please contact the VA directly at 888, this number, and submit an inquiry to ags.va.gov. Now tell me how Trump and them care about military. Tell me how. And the veterans. They're coming after us. I won't be surprised if I don't see a notification that my VA payment for my house, for my disability is not going to be in, my email telling me that my payment is going to be delayed in that aspect because they fired everybody. So I can only imagine there's going to be a delay in VA payments to disabled veterans. They better tighten up because shit about to get real rough out here.
Hey veterans, how you guys doing? So I just want to discuss today what's happening around USA, what's happening with the current administration, and what is there that is affecting actually the way of life for veterans, So recently there's an proportion, the Arlington Cemetery stripped its content of black and female veterans from website. So it was black, Hispanic, and female veterans. And most of these veterans there amazing. They are national heroes. They are mostly considered national heroes. So when you go there and you click to the website, it gives you like an error, you know. So Arlington Cemetery has scrapped from its website informations and educational material about the history of black and female service members. Some of the content removed from the site was on veterans who had received the nation's highest military recognition, no? The Medal of Honor, according to military news and tasks purposes, you know. So the content removed is part of the large effort by President Donald Trump to eliminate diversity, equity, and inclusion DE practice in the military through the federal government. So he's trying to scrap the DEI. That's the diversity, equity, and inclusion. So I don't know what is his idea about, you know, his idea on what these like helps improve the lives of Americans, you know. So you know, in Arlington Cemetery there are more than 400,000 veterans that have been buried, you know. And it was established after the U.S. Civil War at home of South General Robert E. Lee, you know. So on the cemetery website, internal links that direct users to web pages with information about the notable graves of dozens of black, Hispanic, and female veterans went missing on Friday last week, you know. So pages that contain short biography about the veterans, such as General Colin L. Powell, the first black chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff, which is the highest rank in the military after the president, you know. So I think this war, you know, I think this war that the current administration is trying to pick. These are people that has been there. These are people that have fought for America. These are national heroes, you know. So how, you know, Arlington Cemetery website had stories of military like the Tuskegee Airmen, you know, the country's first black military airmen. So I think, is this a war against race, you know, or what is the intention that Mr. President is trying to do, you know? There was a World War I, World War II bomber, a female bomber, who actually led to, I think, the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, you know. So the pilot name was Hector Santa Anna, who was called a hero of the war at that time, you know. He was the one who's, you know, to the enemies. So her information also has been taken down. So this page no longer lists African American history, Hispanic American history, and women history, you know. Since re-entering the White House, President has signed multiple executive order banning DEI with the federal government. The main reason why I think he's trying to actually like scrap this, you know, is to, you know, is to scrap or to block, you know, some members or some certain type of people like the transgenders to enlist into military, you know. So when Trump is trying to scrap this DEI, that's the diversity, equity, inclusion, we all know that DEI was established to you know, as an organization framework that seeks to promote the fair treatment and full participation of all people, particularly groups who have historically been underrepresented, you know, on the subject of maybe discrimination based on identity, like race or disability. The three notions, diversity, equity, and inclusion, together represent three closely linked values which the organization seek to institutionalize through DEE framework. So diversity refers to the presence of variety within the organization workforce in characteristics such as race, gender, ethnicity, sexual orientation, like the transgender, which has been scrapped or been banned, from enlisting or joining military. Disability, age, culture, class, veteran status, or religion, Then equity refers to the concept of fairness and justice, such as fair compensation and substantive equality. More specifically, equity usually also includes focus on societal disparities and allocating resources and decision-making authority to groups that have historically been disadvantaged. So these are people like the Hispanic, the African American, who historically they have fought for very long time to be included, in day-to-day decision making in American military. So, after all this is now when we are experiencing that American heroes, they are being it's like their history is going to be forgotten. And I think it's time for Black Americans, the Hispanic, people of Hispanic origin that live in the United States to actually rise up, stand against this. I know you guys voted for him. Many of veterans, voted for him. But what is this? Are you guys happy? Are you guys happy? How are you guys feeling? Tell me in the comment section how you guys feeling about the current administration. The veterans, I think they are touching you guys, So it's high time we stand, be heard. But I think the media is not showing up. It's not showing. They're not actually covering the demos you guys are going through. So I think you should organize rallies, Stand. Let them hear you, Scream out loud for heaven's sake. Yeah. Because your social securities are being touched. For those who are in education, I think their support is being scrapped, the housing, the support in housing, further training, your jobs, they're being scrapped. Almost 8,000, it was 800 or 8,000 veterans. These are the main reasons why veterans should, arm themselves, and get angry, speak, So these are ways in which Trump is really frustrating, or these are ways in which veterans are being affected by policies from Donald Trump's administration. So eroding of federal law requires employers to give veterans an advantage in hiring over people who have not served in military, So under the 1944 Veterans Act, employees should hire veterans over the other candidates and retain veterans over other employees. during layoff. The idea is to compensate for the economic loss of serving in the military and acknowledge government obligations, especially to support the disabled veterans. This is affecting, most most veterans, and I think most who voted for Donald Trump, So, like how, somebody says, I think a lot of veterans voted the same way. So, there was a mass firing of employees since Trump took office in January, This is pushing veterans out of work, who makes around 30% of the national federal workforce. So an estimate of about 80,000 veterans lose their jobs from the sprawling agents, according to the internal memo obtained by the Associated Press, So veterans represent more than 25% of VA workforce, and here is where Trump is starting. An email, these guys, they've just sent an email, dear so-and-so, I think we are sorry to say that, due to inadequate job performance, I would like to terminate your contract, There was a cutting of VA healthcare, So cuts to the federal workforce are also affecting medical care for veterans. There was a recent, a veteran who recorded himself, having mental breakdown, crying, feeling betrayed. And this person, the money that's supposed to actually, take care of his medical bills, support his therapies, it's being cut down.
It's not a lot to ask. I just want to be able to talk to the same person and not continue to have to retell these stories that torment me.
Showing myself raw, which a lot of people are uncomfortable doing, really showed the graveness of the situation that tens of thousands of veterans are facing, and the struggle that they're going through trying to find quality mental health care. And I felt a responsibility to create awareness and let them know that they weren't alone, and they're not the only ones struggling like that. I think everybody's in agreement that there needs to be a massive overhaul in the access to quality, continuity mental health care for across the United States and as well as veterans. We memorialize all of those who have fallen in service to our country in combat, but imagine if we built a wall for all of the individuals who committed suicide as a direct result of the shortcomings of the mental health care in this country, who served their country honorably. I just imagine how big that wall would be, and to think that it's preventable is a complete it's an understatement.
So cuts to the federal workforce are also affecting medical care for veterans. So Veterans Health Administration workforce constitutes 90% of the VA's around 400 workers. So cuts to VA workers mean cut to health care, and we know the veterans' health care is being mostly needed. Since in 2023, about 400,000 veterans actually were enrolled in VA. And also, veterans expanded the eligibility for former service members to receive their health care. Trump's cut will make it more difficult for the VA to provide health care for these newly eligible veterans. So, these cuts roll back to President Joe Biden's investment in the VA to address long-standing staff problems. So, in 2024. I think the Biden administration approved some, funding and some restrictions that allowed many of the servicemen to join this service. But now these servicemen are being cut out, staffing the suicide hotline, the department, So in Trump's cut social services, the country veteran crisis line, which both the VA and Department of Health and Human Services oversee, is losing employees, So employees in this department also are being sacked, Losing research. There was a recent there's a video circulating online on TikTok, I think, where I think as there's a virtues carrying out, research in medicine, whose funding was actually cut down, So this research helps improve healthcare, help improve, like mostly healthcare and life of these veterans, though now it's being touched, So, and other benefits that are actually veterans receive. So this is a wake-up call to rise, stand, let's do this. So leave your comments on if you're one of the veterans that have been affected, how's life going on, What will you like the world to hear from you? And we shall address your comments in the later episode. So thank you